Halimatu Diba as a Commissioner of the National Human Rights Commission. Mamadou Lamin Choi has the details.
The National Assembly has performed its oversight on shortlisted candidates to appoint a commissioner to fill in a vacant position at the National Human Rights Commission. This comes after the Minister of Justice forwarded names of the two shortlisted candidates for the Assembly's confirmation in accordance with the constitutional provision. The plenary referred the motion to the Assembly's Public Appointment Standing Committee to scrutinize the candidates. The Namfokoma South, Keba Kebaro, a member of the Appointments Committee, presents a report with recommendations.
Considering that one of the shortlisted candidates, Ms. Musbakoto Sao, is currently out of the jurisdiction of the Gambia, to immediately take up the appointment as Commissioner at the Human Rights Commission. Satisfied that Ms. Halimatu Diba has attained both the experience and academic qualifications required for appointment as a Commissioner, the committee unanimously recommends to the Assembly the confirmation of Ms. Halimatu Diba for appointment as Commissioner to the National Human Rights Commission.
As a procedure, the report is considered by NAMS, who thanked the Public Appointments Committee for living up to its mandate with a report that has attracted no questions or doubts from members. NAMS for Jara East, Serekunda and Central Badibu, Seni Ture, Halifa Salah, Suleiman Saho, respectively, take part in the debate to consider the committee's report.
This is very clear, and the appointment now, of course, is a fait accompli because there is no competition, and that makes it very easy for us to make a decision. Thank you very much.
Just to tell the lone nominee to be quite cognizant of the fact that she has been given a great responsibility, and all of us are expected to deliver the goods.
I don't have much to say, but to join my other colleagues to endorse her nomination and to also advise her and other colleagues to make sure that they live for the purpose and support and save this country. I thank you all.
The Public Appointment Standing Committee's report is adopted, followed by a unanimous vote confirming the appointment of Halimatu Diba as a Commissioner of the National Human Rights Commission. The Justice Minister, Dauda Ijalo, reacts to the Assembly's decision.
So government is committed to supporting the National Human Rights Commission in all its way possible to make sure that they deliver their mandate to the Gambian population as assigned to them in the National Human Rights Commission Act. Thank the National Assembly plenary as well for considering and approving the report from the committee, and we're grateful. We thank you very much.
In accordance with National Human Rights Commissions Act, which reserves 2 commissioner seats for women, Ms. Diba's appointment, making her the second female commissioner, brings up to 5 the number of commissioners tasked with promoting and protecting our fundamental human rights. Mahmoud Lamin Choi, QTV News.
The Ministry of Finance and Economic Affairs on Tuesday organized a policy dialogue engagement between the Gambia government and the European Union to discuss the EU's recently adopted multi-indicative program 2021-2027 for the Gambia. Omar P. Jallo has the rest of that story.
The multi-indicative program 2021 to 2027 sets out priority areas of cooperation with the EU, including a financial allocation of 119 million euros for 2021 to 2024. The MIP also foresees the possibility of a new state and resilient building contracts with the Gambia government. The EU ambassador to the Gambia, Corrado Pampaloni, reveals that since 2017, the EU and the Gambia have signed 3 successive state and resilient building contracts, opening the way for the EU's direct transfer of up to 128 million euros to the Gambian budget.
These funds come from taxes paid by the EU citizens and EU companies. It is thus not surprising that for many years, various EU stakeholders, governments, civil society groups and others have been asking questions on the rationale for EU budget support. What impact does it have? Does it deliver good value for money? They all have good reasons to ask questions, and it is our duty to make sure we can explain the rationale and effects of budget support.
Ambassador Pampoloni further stated that in 2020, the year of the onset of the COVID-19 pandemic, the EU provided budget support to 100 countries all over the world, with the Gambia getting 32 million euros, which contributed greatly to the government's COVID-19 response plan.
I am pleased to inform you that we are close to finalizing a contract for another technical assistance project with strong democratic governance and anti-corruption components, among others. The EU will stay strongly engaged in the Gambia for the years to come.
The Minister of Finance and Economic Affairs, Mambure Njai, confirms that since 2017, the government has received up to 115 million euros, equivalent to $6.6 billion as direct budget support, building state resilience, growth and development.
The MIP will help consolidate the gains registered from the 11th EDF, paying specific attention to address the issues of good governance, green economy for sustainable growth and jobs, and human development.
The finance minister also stated that their expectation of Tuesday's engagement is to sign a state and resilient building contract that measures up to the demands of the MIP and government policy aspiration to reconcile and build the nation.
The MIP envisaged a funding support of euro 119 million for 2021 to 2024 as the first phase of the program structured under a new state and resilient building contract, SRBC, that links to government policies and interventions.
Tuesday's high-level policy dialogue engagement brought together stakeholders from government and the EU to take stock of the implementation of the 11 European Development Fund, EDF support, that has ended and highlight the priority areas under the multi-annual indicative program 2021 to 2027. Reporting for KTV News, I am Omar P. Jallo.
In a bid to support underprivileged but outstanding female students, the Fatoumata Barrow Foundation, in collaboration with MAC Foundation, last weekend presented an educational package worth $600,000 to 20 female students from various schools. Alusisa reports.
In 2019, the MAC Foundation launched a program dubbed Educating Linda to help young underprivileged girls who are brilliant to continue their education. The spirit of the project is to provide an opportunity to such girls to pursue their dreams and reach their potential through access to education, as many girls drop out of school due to lack of necessities such as fees and uniform. Already, the MAC Foundation, in partnership with African First Ladies, has supported hundreds of girls in Africa. At a formal award presentation ceremony at the State House in Banjul, each of the 20 students received 5 school materials, including uniforms, bags, textbooks, and $15,000 in cash for school lunch and transport. Claudiana Cole, the Gambia's Minister of Basic and Secondary Education, and Fatou Kinte, the Minister of Gender, Children and Social Welfare, welcomed the partnership between the FAPT and MAC Foundation to empower girls through education. Ministers Cole and Kinte praised the First Lady for her various humanitarian interventions. They encouraged the beneficiaries to make the best use of the learning materials and to remain focused on their education.
The First Lady is the mother of the nation. And like I said, she cares about everyone. And today, she's here showing how much she cares about the girls who are in our schools.
Madam First Lady, I want to thank you again and to say that today you have placed a smile on the face of girls and their parents. That smile cannot be bought with money. So what you have given, you may not see it as something big, but all of us here in this hall know it's very, very big.
Madam Fatoumata Barrow, the Gambia's First Lady, commended the MAC Foundation for contributing immensely towards the development of the country through the FAP Foundation, and also the students of our continued support.
Let's leave these beautiful children to continue their education, because I know they will do well in the future, inshallah Rabbi. We are seeing the future president, the future vice presidents, the future ministers, the future doctors, the future lawyers, the future, everything you think of in this country, you are the future of those positions, and we pray that you become one of them.
Binta Cham, a student of Nusra Senior School and one of the beneficiaries, was in tears of joy as she thanked the FA Foundation for the opportunities given. On behalf of our fellow students, she gave assurances of their commitment to their education.
I will not say that we are the luckiest students of this country, but indeed we are one of the luckiest students of this country. So I am very excited to be here, and then I would like to assure to Her Excellency that we will try and keep up the momentum, inshallah.
MAC Foundation strongly believes that education is one of the most critical areas of women's empowerment. As evident in UNICEF's declaration that in Africa, among children not attending school, there are twice as many girls as boys, and among illiterate adults, there are twice as many women as men. The Convention on the Rights of the Child and the Convention on the Elimination of All Forms of Discrimination Against Women establish it as a basic human right. Studies show that in areas where there's high poverty and decades of conflict, girls face enormous challenges that limit their ability to get the education they deserve. Reporting for QTV News, I am Aliou Cissé.
Well, from that report by Aliou Cissé, we will now take a short commercial break, and after, we will continue with the news.
With so many things to do in a single day, it's important to have a network you can trust. When there's family and friends to connect with and business calls to make, you need a network that is reliable and fast. Talk longer, browse faster, go farther, and roam wider. When your network is solid, the world is your oyster. QCell, your trusted network in the Gambia.
Welcome back, and thank you very much if you're just joining us. This is QTV Midday News. 2 Gambians and a Sierra Leonean have been arrested by agents of the Drug Law Enforcement Agency for alleged involvement in drug trafficking within the Greater Banjul area. Yahya Jao reports.
Over $153,000 worth of suspected cannabis, cocaine and hashish was recovered during the arrest. The suspects are Malle Biai, a 25-year-old Gambian and a resident of Serekunda, Kaba Cham, a 22-year-old Gambian residing in Brusubi, and Terent Wells, a 49-year-old Sierra Leonean residing in Banjul. Male was arrested with 35 bundles of cannabis in an ash-colored BMW vehicle around Latrikunda, German, on Monday, February 7, 2022. 3 days later, Kaba Cham was also arrested in Brusubi with hashish, while Terent Wells was arrested with 9 wraps of cocaine on 11 February in Banjul. Usman Sediba, the public relations officer of the Drug Law Enforcement Agency, gave an account of the operations that led to the arrest.
We are here today again to give update on seizures that are registered by Delegate Kanifing Municipal Command. As an update, recently 3 people are in custody, arrested for possession of varying quantities of prohibited drugs. 1 arrested in Banjul with suspected quantities of cocaine. Another 1 arrested in Brusubi with suspected quantities of suspected cannabis sativa, and also another 1 arrested in Latrikunda, German. The 1 who is arrested in Latrikunda, German is as a result of the officers conducting a surveillance, in a sense that they've had information about this activity, that is illicit activity of trafficking in drugs using a BMW hash color vehicle. So the officers, upon coming into contact with him, pursue him. He failed to stop. They pursue him, and he even accidentally hit their vehicle, and his front bumper is damaged. But at the end, they were able to take him into custody. He is presently in custody. He was arrested with 35 big bundles of suspected cannabis sativa. He hid some of the cannabis at the boot of the vehicle, and then also somewhere in the rear seat where the passengers sit.
According to Sediba, many drug traffickers use vehicles to transport drugs during their operations, and therefore want vehicle owners to be careful who to give their vehicles to.
Also, with the case of the vehicle, we also draw people's attention to what we call forfeiture of means of conveyance. That is post 1 to section 94 of the DCA. We've always said it. When a means of conveyance is used in the trafficking of any kind of drug, as far as the act is concerned, Once that person is convicted for that offense, that vehicle is forfeited to the state. So we'll remind people again about that.
PRO Sediba also advises young people to stay away from using illicit drugs.
This is why we continue to tell people, especially the young people, to keep away from drugs. Because in most instances, when you start these things, you think that you are able to control it. In the long run, when your system becomes tolerant, you increase the intake of these specific drugs, you end up becoming addicted. And when you are an addict, you live to take drugs and you take drugs to live.
The PRO also urged compound heads, clubs and restaurant owners to monitor the activities conducted on their premises. The 3 suspects are in custody and will be arraigned before the courts. Reporting for QTV News, I am Yahya Jao.
The mayor of Banjul, Rohim Malik Lo, on Saturday presided over the city's first ever town hall meeting to update the capital's residents about council's ongoing projects. Among other matters, allegations of wrongful land sales were addressed. Ansumane Sunyasi tells us more.
Attended by a cross-section of society, Saturday's event was organized in fulfillment of the Local Government Act, which requires elected local government officials, such as the mayor, to meet with constituents at least once each year for dialogue to assess the progress and impact of the City Council's development projects. Held at Dobson Street in Halfdai, Banjul South, the meeting also gave residents an opportunity to interact with Mayor Low and senior officials of the Council and ask questions and raise concerns regarding their development needs. Mayor Rohim Malik Low thanked the people of Banjul South for their continuous support and reiterated her commitment to delivering on all her development promises.
We are happy to be here in Banjul South to meet our people, to discuss things that concern our city's development. A lot has happened since I became mayor, and it is only right that I come to you to tell you what I and council have been doing to improve your lives. So, this is an important meeting, and I assure you that your questions and concerns will be addressed immediately.
Amongst the key issues raised during the meeting are the current state of the half-dry football pitch, the unfair distribution of development projects, and allegations of council's wrongful allocation or selling of land. These allegations were dismissed by both the mayor and CEO Mustafa Bacheli as false and misleading. They stressed that developing Banjul and building strong institutions for the future of the city remain at the heart of council's agenda.
The half-dry football park is and will remain the property of the people of Banjul. I have not authorized its sale, nor am I aware of its being sold to the GPA or anyone else. That is not true. It is misleading information. No one will sanction the sale of the city's assets, not while I am mayor. And I can confirm to you that the BCC has not sold the football park.
If you want clear information, please come to the council. Our doors are always open. There are so many allegations that are just not true. Like the mayor said, we are not involved in wrongful allocations of land, nor did we sanction the sale of the city's assets, such as the football park. And rest assured that you will all benefit from any development projects that are for the people of Banjul. Let us stay united and work as one people with a common desire. Saturday's event was supported by the EU-funded Austin Banjul CityLink project under its good governance component, which seeks to strengthen council's governance structure. Similar meetings are expected to be held in Banjul Central and North in the coming weeks. Ansumane Sonyasi for QTV News.
Acting workshops can help develop the skills of aspiring actors in the Gambia. We look at how one workshop is preparing some actors for feature roles and what the film industry has in store for fresh Gambian talent. Here is Annabelle Gay, who went along to find out.
Babu Cisse is a British Academy of Film and Television Arts, BAFTA-nominated international actor of Gambian descent with an impressive list of credentials under his belt. Babu has starred in many successful television shows and filmed alongside the likes of Idris Elba, Taraji P. Henson, and Helen Mirren, just to name a few. The Gambia mainly knows him as Pilgrim from the post-apocalyptic series Into the Badlands. But now he's here bringing his vast knowledge of acting to the Gambia through his hands-on workshops.
I've learned how to relive the moment. I've learned how to take it, feel it, and act it.
When it comes to motivating his actors in training, he teaches his own learned acting techniques as well as encouraging individuality and personalization when telling a story through performance.
There's a huge amount of talent in Gambia. But in order for that talent to be able to flourish and get to the point where we can compete on an international scale, we need to train. I went to drama school. So what I want to do in these workshops is to train them in the techniques that I learned. Some of those acting techniques I've been taught about how to look at a character, how to break it down. In some ways, it's even scientific. Being able to focus your attention. All those things are what I'm trying to bring to the Gambia. So that we're not under the control of any other style of acting. Each individual gets to find their own truth and try to bring it out.
Babu shared with us his excitement and optimism about the potential for the Gambian film industry to grow and explained how his acting workshops are a small part of a wider effort needed to elevate this sector. He strongly believes in the talent and the stories that are available here and urges ministries to invest in them.
I 100% believe that we can go global with our stories. The reason is very simple. Stories, when they work, they're universal. I think the first thing to understand when we're talking about film, we're talking about TV, that it's an industry. So one of the most critical sides of it is money. People don't want to accept that, but it's the truth. We can't set up a film industry unless it's sustainable. For it to be sustainable, we need to make films and stories that we can sell globally. Now, if the stories that we tell are about the things that all human beings share on this planet, they'll get it. There's some little details that makes us Gambian. Let's not take that out. Let's leave that in. That's the salt and pepper carnival stuff. You understand?
Award-winning Gambian actress, radio host and activist Mariama Colley was also in attendance and explained the importance of having workshops such as this one to provide a foundation for the film and TV industry here.
We need it since we don't have a performing arts school. These are platforms that we have opportunities to learn and develop ourselves.
She too encourages support and investment in this industry and appeals to individuals to view all roles within the industry as credible professions.
When we introduce ourselves as actors or actresses, don't just be like, okay, what else do you do? It's a profession. This is our job. This is as valuable as any other profession out there. I think we need to have a system that can also help us to earn even more money to sustain us.
The film industry in the Gambia is not new. However, it is also not established to the same extent as some other African film industries due to a lack of funding and public interest. Meanwhile, trailblazers like Babu and Mariama continue to share their knowledge and attempt to change perceptions about the film industry. Reporting for QTV News, I'm Annabelle Gay.
And from that report, we now look at our top stories. The National Assembly on Tuesday confirmed the appointment of Halimatu Diba as a commissioner of the National Human Rights Commission. The Ministry of Finance and Economic Affairs on Tuesday organized a policy dialogue engagement with the European Union to discuss the EU's recently adopted multi-indicative program. Educational packages worth $600,000 was presented to 20 female students from various schools by the Fatoumata Barrow Foundation in collaboration with Mark Foundation. 2 Gambians and a Sierra Leonean have been arrested by agents of the Drug Law Enforcement Agency for alleged involvement in drug trafficking. That's it for QTV Midday News, and join us again at 8 p.m. for the news.